Hello everyone, how are you today? Today's lesson is a hands-on lesson. You can get your colors because you can use them. Today's lesson is about area and distributive property. Do you remember distributive property? We took it earlier this year. When we distribute, we decompose or we separate. So in the distributive property, what do? We decompose or separate. We used the distributive property in multiplication. We used it to make it easier for us to multiply big numbers. Remember when we had, for example, 8 multiplied by 9? We can decompose or separate one of the numbers, 8 or 9, then we put them in the bracket. Let's do one example together. If we have, as I said, 8 multiplied by 9, what did we use to do? We used to separate one of them. We will separate here the 8 into 4 and 4. Then we will put in brackets, in parentheses, 4 multiplied by 9 plus 4 multiplied by 9. What is 4 by 9? Yes, 36 plus 4 by 9, 36. 36 plus 36 is 72. So this is how we use the distributive property to multiply. Now let's see how are we going to use the distributive property with the area. Let's draw. Open page 791 and let's go through this example together. This grid shows a rectangle with a length of 6 units. Let's count the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, and the width of 5 units. Let's count the width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If the length of this rectangle increased by 2 units, what would be the new area? First, let's calculate the area of this rectangle. We read that the length is 6 and the width is 5. So how can we calculate the area? 6 multiplied by 5 equals, yes, 30. So the area of the rectangle is 30 square units. Now we will label this rectangle A. So this is A, rectangle A. Now shade more unit squares so that the length of the rectangle is now increased by 2 units, but the width does not change. So this is the width, it does not change, but the length increased by 2 units. 1, 2, 1, 2. The width does not change. We will shade this area. Now we will label the addition rectangle formed by what we shaded as rectangle B. Now what is the area of rectangle B? Let's count together. Here we have 2 and 5. So 2 multiplied by 5 is 10 square units. Now, what is the area of rectangles A and B? So we're going to put A for area equals, this is rectangle A and this is rectangle B. 6 multiplied by 5, we said 30. 2 multiplied by 5, 10. Now we add them together. 30 plus 10 is 40. So the area of the larger rectangle is 40 square units. We always check our answer. The length of the larger rectangle, 6 plus 2 is 8. So the length is 8. And the width is the same, which is 5. So 8 multiplied by 5 equals 40 square units. So our answer is correct. Now, again, before we move to the next page, the distributive property can be used to model the area of a rectangle. We will recall that distributive property allows you to decompose one factor. Remember, we said it at the beginning. A distributive property allows us to decompose only one factor. A helpful hint: by breaking apart the larger factor, the rest of the calculation will be easier. This is also what we took before. When we decompose one factor, it makes it easier for us to calculate the result. Now, moving to page 792. We will use the distributive property to find the area of the rectangle. The area of this rectangle. The rectangle is 12 units, has a length of 12 units and a width of 7 units. So we will decompose the 12 into 10 and 2. Now let's use the distributive property to find the answer. Again, 7 multiplied by 12, that's our bigger rectangle. We will decompose 12 into 10 and 2. What is 7 multiplied by 10? 70. Plus, what is 7 multiplied by 2? 14. 70 plus 14 is 84. So the area of the rectangle is 84 square units. Now let's practice it together. In this page, page 793, I will be doing with you questions 3 and 5, and you have to do questions 4 and 6 by yourself and send it to me on Class Dojo. Now, here we will need to also use the distributive property to find the area of each rectangle. The first step, they've already done it for us, which is decomposing one factor. The rectangle has a length of 7 units and a width of 6 units. So we need to find the area of this rectangle. 6 multiplied by 7. We will decompose the 7 into 5 and 2. Now, what is 6 multiplied by 5? 30. Plus 6 multiplied by 2? 12. So 30 plus 12 is 42. So the area is 42 square units. We can also shade it here on the rectangle. The 7 will be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is, you can use your colors. This is the first part of our that we're going to calculate. Then this one is our second part that we're going to calculate. Okay, this part is 6 multiplied by 5, and this part is 6 multiplied by 2. This is how we decompose our rectangle and to make it easier for us to calculate. Let's solve our last question. Find the area of each rectangle. Use the distributive property to decompose the longer side into a sum. Show your steps. So we will go through it step by step together, and then you will have to do number 6, and you also need to show me your steps. So here we have the length is 11 centimeters and the width is 4 centimeters. They asked us to decompose the longer side. So 4 multiplied by 11 equals, we will decompose the longer side, which is 11, into 4 multiplied by 10 plus 4 multiplied by 1. Remember, when you're decomposing, you can do it in your own way. Like 11, you can do it 6 and 5, or as I did 10 and 1. You can do anything you want as long as you're comfortable with it. You can do it in your own easier way. Just remember which multiplication table is easier for me to use, so I can calculate faster. 4 multiplied by 10, 40, plus 4 multiplied by 1, 4. 40 plus 4, 44. So the area is 44 square centimeters. Now go and solve for number 4 and number 6, and don't forget to show me your steps in number 6.